Good morning, everyone. I wanted to share this writing lesson with you so you know what to do for today's writing assignment. I want you to only begin your story. So you're not finishing it today. You're just setting the scene. Okay? Now I'm doing this in marker, but this is a rough draft. So you should be doing this in pencil. That way you can erase things. I'm just doing it in marker so you can see it better. You did this sheet yesterday. And what we're doing today is really we're taking this first box here and we're setting the scene. That's all we're doing. We're talking about our setting and we're introducing our character. We're not going into the problem yet. We're only doing one page of writing, and you can get this page. I shared it with you. If you want to use this page, you can, or you can use a journal, like I said, or line paper, any paper like that. Or some of you may want to do a rough draft on the computer. And if you can do that, I'm totally fine with that. It makes it a little easier for me to read. So you should have access to this, or use white line paper, or if you want to type it in the computer, you can do that too. So all I did to start was I took what I wrote in the first box and I copied it down because that's introducing my character. Maybe you want to copy exactly word for word what you wrote in yesterday's assignment, or maybe you're going to add a little bit more to introduce your character. Either way, if you want to just copy it, you can. So remember, we have our character, Matt, and his problem is he hates writing, and we talked about that. So Matt is a first grader at West Hill School in Rocky Hill. His teacher is Mr. Kataja. I could just stop right there, but this is why we're doing this lesson, and this is what I want you doing. You are going to now add more, another sentence or two. You're going to describe your setting and any other characters that may be important. You could introduce them. So I'm going to add on to this, and I want you to think about how you can add on to your story. Matt is a first grader. His teacher is Mr. Kataja. So remember, he hates writing. But what else about Matt? I'm thinking about Matt, and maybe he loves other parts of school, right? So let's say Matt loves, and maybe I'm using the word loves too much, but that's okay. Matt loves his class. I could just say that, but why does he love his class? Why would you love class? What are the things you love about class? This is realistic fiction. You should make connections to your life. And why would you love class? Because, and this is a great word to use, because that helps us make our sentences better. Because it is full of fun stuff. And I'm thinking to our classroom's full of fun stuff. That's part of the reason why I love the classroom. I'm sure you love the classroom for that reason. So if your setting is the classroom in school, you might want to describe our classroom and think back to what it's like and what's in our classroom. I know it's full of fun stuff. Okay, I have my setting. A classroom, it's full of fun stuff. My teacher. Does Matt like my teacher? Sure. Because I think I'm likable. Mr. Kataja's likable. So let's say Matt even likes his teacher. He even likes his teacher. Again, with the word because, that helps our writing. It adds more detail, that word because, and that's one of our sight words. So we should try to use that word because. You'll use it a lot in writing. His teacher because he, and what are reasons why students like me? Probably because I'm really fun, obviously, but because he lets Matt talk and play with his. And we do a lot of playing in school, playing and learning. It goes together. He lets him talk and play with his friends. So now I am setting up my story. Notice how I didn't just say Matt is a first grader. Next page. Matt has a problem writing. Next page. teacher helps him. No, we have to set up our story, add detail, think about your character. What does he like about it? All right, now let me reread it because I'm always rereading as I write. There's like a little voice in my head. So I'm kind of reading it, and that's the beauty of writing. Anytime you write something, that little voice goes in your head. Whoever reads it has to have that little voice saying the words. So I can even say it out loud, and that helps me. Matt is a first grader at West Hill School in Rocky Hill. His teacher is Mr. Kataja. Matt loves his class because it is full of fun stuff. Matt even likes his teacher because he lets Matt talk and play with his friends. All right. I think I've had a pretty good setting here. I set up my character. Matt loves school. He loves his teacher. Now we're getting ready to establish our problem. I'm not going to state the whole problem yet, but I'm just going to make a little hint at it. So let me just hint at my problem. And maybe you want to hint at your problem on the first page, or maybe you just want to establish your setting, set up your character, introduce any other characters that might be important. So right now we have Matt's friends could be a character, and Mr. Kataja, the teacher, is a character. I've kind of introduced them. Maybe you want to just introduce characters and not even talk about your problem at all. But I'm going to say, so he loves to play with his friends. He loves everything. He loves everything about his school except for one thing. And that's a lot of writing. I'm not expecting you to fill up your entire page. I just wanted to show you some ideas and how you can take what you started and just add a sentence or two more. I added a few more sentences, and I'm not expecting you to do that, but maybe you want to. So now everything except for one thing. And we know what that one thing is, right? Writing. So I've really set up my character. My next page, I'm going to introduce my problem. I have my reader thinking he loves everything about his school. Okay, this is a great story. What's this about? Who cares? Except for one thing. Now I care. Now I'm wondering what that one thing is. Notice how the best writing has detail. It sets up the problem. Your setting, use descriptive language. I noticed a lot of you had settings outside. That's perfect. You can really use descriptive language outside. Talk about what time of year it is. Maybe I saw some of you had a storm. So you could set up your story with, Matt was playing outside and then he heard a rumble of thunder and a storm cloud came above and it covered the sun and it got darker. Or maybe some of you wrote about hurting, like falling and getting hurt. So you could set up your story with, Matt was playing. He was having so much fun with his best friend, and they were playing a game of tag. And then he didn't notice the big rock in the middle of the playground. And that kind of sets up that problem. Something bad's about to happen. He didn't notice something. So those are a couple examples that I just thought of because I'm reading what you're writing. Make sure that you're not going to finish your whole story. I really just want you to try to set up your character, set your setting up, and we know the setting is the when and the where. So if the time of the year is important, you should talk about that. What is it like outside? Does the weather play a factor? Use descriptive details as best as you can. Remember that spelling does not matter. Try your best to stretch out the words, and I'll figure it out. This is just our rough draft, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm looking forward to reading the first page of your realistic fiction story.